Hey everyone, so funny story. I was originally going to post this video as a short yesterday about the movie Zootopia 2. Mostly because I noticed how popular my last video on Zootopia got and I wanted to capitalize on its success. And I wanted to provide my loyal and amazing viewers with my own thoughts on the sequel. Or at least, that was the plan, until I actually sat down to rewatch it, and as I was writing down my thoughts, I slowly started to realize that there was absolutely zero way I was going to be able to comfortably condense all my points into 3 minutes. So, even though this is not what I thought my first long-term video would be about, I decided to do a slightly longer review on Zootopia 2, because gosh dang darn it, I love this franchise, and well howdy did I have some thoughts on this movie. So without further ado, here's the following for my analysis on Zootopia 2. In my analysis, I really mean a longer version of what I already do for my shorts. Enjoy! So I don't know how to feel about Zootopia 2. Now, I have no doubt that many people love this film, and even prefer it to the first one, but I can't really say the same. Don't get me wrong, there are many enjoyable parts in Zootopia 2. I especially love the reptile-centered plot and the mystery tone this movie has. I also deeply appreciate Pawbert. While not perfect, he's a much better antagonist than Bellwether. I think what would have made him just a little bit more interesting is if his motivation for earning love from his family reflected the overall theme just a tad bit more, and if we actually saw him subtly downplaying his family's wrongdoings. It wouldn't be anything too obvious. I think this movie could have kept him as he was, but also just could have included a few more lines to help foreshadow his true allegiance to the Lynxleys. Speaking of the Lynxleys, I think they were fantastic. I really liked how threatening they were and how they managed to create a lot of conflict for the protagonist. Another positive is that Gary is pretty good as a character. While his design took some time for me to get used to, and he definitely had some scenes that got my snake nerd side just a little mad, I really love the idea of him, and I personally thought he worked really well from a narrative standpoint. Also, I absolutely love the Silence of the Lambs bit, and by absolutely love, I mean I may have laughed a little too hard watching that scene in the theater. However, when I watched this film for the first time, I couldn't help but feel like there was something off about it. And no, I don't mean the fact that the main song is called Zoo, which, okay, I know it's minor, but you have no idea how much this song bothered me. Sure, it sounds nice, but do animals in this world know what a zoo is? Because if so, I'm not sure if that's deeply concerning or clever. What? No, that wasn't my main issue of this movie. There was something about Zootopia 2 that I couldn't really shake off, but after I recently gave this movie a rewatch, I think I know what it was. Now again, if you like this film, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to disagree with me, but Judy didn't really feel like a character to me, or at the very least not a very good one. In the first film, Judy's main issue is that she subconsciously believes that prey and predators are biologically different, or more specifically, that predators do have a quote-unquote savage nature. She doesn't believe this because she hates predators or anything, but because of a traumatic experience she had as a child with a fox. As the story went on, she started to realize that prey and predators aren't that different as she grows alongside Nick. But when she eventually has to confront her lie, she flops as her trauma comes rushing back. Despite this though, she's able to overcome her past and reconciles with Nick, which in turn brings about the end to predator prejudice. On top of this, Judy is also facing discrimination for being a rabbit cop, something typically looked down upon in Zootopia, which doesn't just help to bolster the movie's theme, but aids in her being able to emotionally connect with predators like Nick, because both of them have to face and confront society's unfair expectations and bigotry towards them. As the movie wraps up, Judy realizes that if a bunny like herself can defy people's biases towards animals like her, then predators can do the same. Or, as the movie puts it, to be anything they want to be, and to try everything, despite what people or society say about them. Going back to Zootopia 2 though, Judy's main issue is that she believes she has to prove herself and protect all of society, which, okay, yes, that works, but we don't have a reason as to why she believes this. In fact, wouldn't this be the exact opposite of what she believes? She literally proved herself in the first film by overcoming her past and bringing prey and predators together. I can see if she believed that she had to maintain her image as a hero in order to be accepted, but it's not implied that's the case, really. Her main motivation for wanting to prove herself is to keep her and Nick together as partners, which, yeah, I'm sorry, I personally don't find to be a good reason at all. Because here's the thing, even if they were separated, that doesn't mean they can't later get assigned together, and if they weren't, nothing stopping them from just being friends. And also, this subplot of Judy and Nick not getting along just kind of felt forced. While it definitely wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in the first film, it's not like they're at each other's throats all the time. In fact, for two completely different personalities who most certainly didn't like one another, they got along just fine and managed to fix Zootopia's extreme prejudice towards predators together. And you know what's even more frustrating? During one of the leading climaxes of Zootopia 2, Judy ends up believing that she and Nick are too different to be partners. Which, hang on, let me wrap my head around that real quick, because what? What do you mean you two are too different? The whole point of the first film was that despite a prey and predator teaming up, which, mind you, both of those said animals have pretty bad experiences with the other species due to racism, discrimination, and downright trauma, they still ended up becoming friends. And to think that this extremely weak conflict point was all caused because Judy believed that she and Nick had to prove themselves in order to stay together. A belief that doesn't have that much of a leg to stand upon. And here's the thing, even if that were true, it's not like these two being separated would really be the end of the world. You know something that would have been a lot more impactful and something that added to this movie's theme? Is if after the events of the first movie, Judy starts to notice people treating her and Nick like heroes. And by heroes, I mean people start calling them the next Mother Teresa. Judy's family keeps calling every minute to praise her on her heroism, and heck, maybe even a statue here or there. However, Judy starts to realize that whenever she and Nick make one mistake, the media, the other officers, and her family really seem to dog on her and Nick, making Judy wonder if she and Nick have to continuously be the next big thing in order to be accepted, which leads to her taking up the reptile and Linksley case. This results in Judy feeling like she carries the world on her shoulders, which ties into Gary's motif about the exact same idea that his family gave him, but would also result in her perhaps taking the shoulder and lead for the case, which may cause Nick to feel sidelined and undervalued as Judy tries her best to protect him, all while taking all of the case's trials and hits on herself without any kind of assistance, just so she can be the next big thing and hero that so many people praise her of being. Because of that, it could lead to a fight between Judy and Nick, where Judy refuses to accept help because she still believes she needs to be the famous hero of all the answers, while Nick tries his best to be there alongside his friend, but ultimately ends up being pushed aside. I also feel like this would make her failed fight with Pawbert a lot more emotional, because her attempt to save the world and protect it ends up falling apart as she realizes she couldn't save the one person that actually mattered to her, Nick. It would be in that moment of desperation where she finally accepts help from Gary, who ends up saving both her and Nick in their struggle against Pawbert. And speaking of Pawbert, this arc Judy undergoes throughout the film can also be reflected in him. Because just like how Judy is trying to gain the world's approval and will do anything to do so, like refusing emotional or physical aid or assistance from Nick and always insisting on going on overly dangerous missions, Pawbert is trying to get the approval and love from his corrupt family and will stop at nothing to do so, even if that means hurting innocent animals along the way. Is this a perfect way to fix Zootopia 2's character issues? Heavens no. I ain't no Disney writer, I just came up with that in 5 minutes. But I feel like something along those lines definitely could have helped this movie's theme be a little bit more structured and thorough. While there are some things I do like about Zootopia 2, mainly Maple Stick, she was really freaking funny, I'll be lying if I said I didn't have problems with it. If you completely disagree, that's okay. Despite my seemingly ranty tone in this video, I don't want people to come away thinking I hated this film, because the truth is, I really don't. I just don't like it as much as the first movie. With all that being said though, Zootopia 2 is far from the worst sequel Disney's ever made, and even with its problems, I would say it's an okay continuation of the Zootopia franchise. It's not as good as the Zootopia Plus series, but hey, it's pretty good for what it is. Phew, for all of my viewers I didn't scare away, that was my video on Zootopia 2. I realize I'm not exactly in a majority when it comes to this movie, and that's actually one of the reasons why I started reviewing the first film instead of jumping right into the sequel. Judy wasn't the only problem I had with Zootopia 2. For as much as I was praising Pawbert, I have to admit he definitely could have been miles better. Again, great idea for a villain, he just wasn't executed very well. In conclusion, just like every other cash grab sequel in existence, this movie didn't need to happen. I can guarantee you there were probably a lot more people who were emotionally impacted by the first Zootopia than they were by the sequel. All that to say, Zootopia 2 could have been a lot better. Now if you excuse me, I need some way to end this thing. And because I suck at transitions, I'm going to stop it right here. If you like this kind of stuff from me, just let me know what I should review and look at next time. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the flip side.